Okay, so now we're going to talk about if you are have a direct contact, if your child has a direct contact with COVID-19. So this is first part we're going to talk about is in the household. So child's parent, one of the parents come positive. So it's inside the household. Brother, sister, whoever is living inside the household, grandparents, anything anybody that would be living within them. So we are going to closely follow the guideline from Lucas County Health Department, and the guidance is called Handling Symptoms and Household Exposures. So this was also recently updated. So if a family member is being tested for COVID, so this means there's no positive result yet, but dad has symptoms, is getting tested because he has symptoms, work's making him test, so he's testing. So if there is any suspicions, the child must stay home also. So don't still send him to school if dad's testing because of possible positive. Stay at home until at least the test result is received. And then if that comes back positive, that's when we'll have to follow these guidelines. But if it's negative, they can return right away. So the child can return to Nourish once a negative COVID test is taken on or after day 10 of the household member's isolation. So what this means is dad shows symptoms, that's day 0, right? So we count 10 days. So your child cannot take a test until day 10, because ultimately what the Lucas County Health Department is saying is anytime from day 0 to day 10, your child could pick it up. So we want to make sure that we have the closest time that they could take it, pick it up. So yes, they can return once they get a negative test from day 10 of testing. If they have a negative COVID test taken on or day after 5 of last contact with the members. So this is the case to say dad can isolate, no contact, 0 contact with the family. Dad can 100% isolate from the whole entire family. Then once dad's day 5 is, then that child can test, and once the negative result is received, then they can come back to Nourish. Or then the third way is quarantining for 10 days on top of the family member's 10-day isolation. So keep in mind, this is a 21-day period. So just know there is a quarantine option, but their quarantine does not start until day 10 of dad's or whoever.
Isolation, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So those are the 3 options for household quarantining, meaning we are still requiring testing and quarantining if it's in the household. Now I'm going to switch to a Nourish contact. So let's say there is a close contact in one of the rooms at Nourish, which has happened and is happening often because it's a communicable disease. So this is a shift for us. So if a child or staff member is exposed to a confirmed case of COVID-19 at Nourish in their classroom, they are able to continue coming to Nourish. We are not shutting down the classroom as long as they have 0 symptoms. 0. That includes runny nose, that includes cough. 0 symptoms. And we will be monitoring these symptoms very closely. So if any symptom, any high risk or low risk symptom presents within 14 days of that exposure, that means even a low risk 1 symptom presents, the child must be sent home, and they can either quarantine for 10 days from that symptom onset. Remember, symptom onset is day 0, or they can take a proctored or PCR COVID test while symptomatic. So a symptom presents, they can take the test and return once negative. Or they can provide an evaluation of a specific alternative medical diagnosis. So you can go to the doctor if you don't want to test, you can go to the doctor and get a specific alternative medical diagnosis, strep throat, ear infection, RSV, croup, any other medical diagnosis that they may have, and provide that in a physician's note for return. So there's 3 options. They can quarantine for 10 days. They can take a proctored PCR test. These are symptoms appear after an exposure, or that you can provide an evaluation of a specific alternative medical diagnosis. That includes, this is for Nourish, or in the classroom Nourish context.
Yeah. So then the third type of exposure would be an exposure that happens outside the home or outside of Nourish. So if a child or staff member is exposed to a confirmed case outside their immediate household, they are able to return. So, if your friend calls you up, you guys were over there the other day and they're like, hey, I just got, positive test from so-and-so and you guys were over, I wanted to let you know. So in those types of cases, you are allowed to return, but we're going back to the 0 symptoms. So yes, back to we're looking at runny nose, cough, everything. So really just make sure that you're letting us know so that we're really on top of it. So emailing us and letting us know that there was a close contact. If any symptoms present within 14 days of exposure, the child or staff member must take a COVID test. All known exposures should, like I said, be reported to us at Nourish healthline@gmail.com.